What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes the 6th July Raw and looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Ring of Honor champion being accused in the Speaking Out movement, Vince believes this wrestler was not worthy of a championship, is Kairi Sane staying after all, Becky Lynch was willing to wrestle pregnant, more returns coming, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Now, as always, we won't waste your time recapping the matches, but we will take a look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly from last night's show. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a poignant promo. Heath Slater's surprise return was a good way to build up the Dolph Ziggler vs Drew McIntyre match at Extreme Rules, giving the fans all the more reason to hate Ziggler for trying to exploit Drew and Heath's friendship. Slater's promo was touching and played on the real-life history between him and McIntyre, as well as Slater's recent release. It's safe to say Slater gave one of the best promos of his entire WWE career, and hopefully will remind other promotions what he can offer them. Number 2, the new US title. With replica belts being popular among collectors, it's inevitable that WWE puts out new versions of its titles from time to time. However, not every new edition is a hit. Thankfully, the new United States Championship looks great and is a bold new look for the title that dates back 45 years ago, albeit starting in Jim Crockett Promotions. Number 3, hurting is our business and business is good. MVP and Bobby Lashley's Hurt Business continues to issue invitations and beatdowns as MVP aims to expand his faction. This allowed MVP to interact with superstars whose careers could use a little push, such as Cedric Alexander, and take rising stars such as Apollo Crews to new heights. We'll look forward to the finished stable. Number 4, focus on the women. For whatever reason, Raw was all about its female superstars, with several matches involving the promotion's female superstars, including the main event between Asuka and Bayley. The WWE continued to build for the Iconics vs the Riot Squad, with the latest tease that Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott will reunite, which is excellent news as the women's division needs more tag teams, and quite frankly, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott haven't been lighting things up as single stars. Sasha Banks vs Kairi Sane provided a great match for the middle of the show and also furthered the Asuka vs Banks match for Extreme Rules. The WWE really showed some smart booking by combining the build-up for Banks vs Asuka and Bayley vs Nikki Cross with the main event between Bayley and Asuka. Throwing Nikki Cross into the mix was entertaining and brilliant booking. Number 5, an entertaining women's division. While the days of women's wrestling being little more than eye candy are thankfully over, the WWE's women's division is finally stepping up. As important as in-ring quality is, the WWE is still more than just 5-star matches. It's about strong promos and captivating characters. While there have been a few entertaining women in the past, things have improved dramatically as seen with last night's show. The golden role models Sasha Banks and Bayley are hilarious on the mic, and they found a balance between being obnoxious heels that entertain and ones that make you scramble for the remote. Asuka is in a class all by herself, providing entertaining promos despite most of them being in Japanese. Nikki Cross's lovable maniac character is a type that not everyone could pull off, but she's developed it well, and her partnership with Alexa Bliss hasn't hurt either. It'll be interesting to see if she gets any sustained singles push. Add in the undercard talent like the Iconics and Ruby Riott, and you have an entertaining women's division that's quickly becoming entertaining in and out of the ring. Number 6, a friend in need. The WWE furthered the Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio feud by adding Kevin Owens into the storyline, playing off Seth and Kevin's previous conflicts. Owens is one of Raw's top babyfaces, but he's wisely been staying away until the WWE gets its pandemic-related issues under control. His return tonight was a good way to shine the spotlight on him and further the Rey vs Rollins feud. Number 7, Crash TV continues. The fast-paced segments kept the show moving and gave the fans a chance to check something out if they didn't like what they saw previously. Although some of last night's matches were longer than usual, the WWE still kept things moving quite quickly. And number 8, a new faction with Randy Orton? Could fans be seeing the formation of Legacy 2.0? Orton's team with Andrade and Angel Garza got off to a poor start as the Big Show and the Viking Raiders dominated, but Orton's tough love with Angel Garza seemed to motivate the lethal Lothario enough to get his head back in the game. Pairing Orton up with Andrade and Garza could be a great way to give the two the rub. And while Andrade's career is doing well, it's time to take it to the next level and give Orton some backup since he's quickly becoming Raw's most hated, although Seth Rollins is a second close. But that was the good. What about the bad is number 1, the Viking Jobbers. The Viking Raiders are one of the best big man tag teams the WWE has seen in some time, and they have the charisma to make them entertaining out of the ring. But for whatever reason, the WWE kept them on the sidelines other than a brief run with the Raw Tag Team Championship and their ridiculous out of the ring contest with the Street Profits. Eric and Ivar are too good to be jobbing every week on Raw, but that seems to be their new role, especially under the new Bruce Pritchard regime. Number 2. A long main event. As entertaining as Asuka vs Bayley was, the match just went on for far too long and affected Raw's Crash TV format. Frankly, this was a pay-per-view level match that didn't need a conclusive finish, and it should have been shorter with an inconclusive finish in order to build up to a future match. And number 3. Why watch? The preview for last night's Raw was weak, suggesting fans had little reason to make the show a priority. Ironically, the show turned out to be much better than last week's snoozer and a return to the entertaining shows the WWE has been putting out since Paul Heyman left. With the ratings down and WWE constantly revising its shows, it may be more difficult to hype these shows with much notice, but the WWE missed out on a good opportunity here. Thankfully, nothing downright ugly here, although the ratings could prove ugly for the WWE if Raw's ratings match last week's. But as far as show quality, this was a solid night, with the WWE building up its matches for Extreme Rules and using its Crash television format to feature more stars. What did you guys think of Raw? Let us know in the comments down below. But now, let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at Jay Lethal now being accused in the Speaking Out movement. A Ring of Honor star Jay Lethal is the latest wrestler being accused of misconduct. According to a report by Wrestling News' Paul Davis, Kelly Klein took to Twitter today to call on Ring of Honor to address the bad behavior. She specifically named Jay Lethal, and she says that multiple women have brought complaints and evidence of misconduct. And Jay Lethal responded to the accusations, tweeting a statement in an excerpt which follows. And for the complete statement, click the link in the description. But he went on to say, "It has always been my choice to use silence to keep my dignity, refrain from publicly attacking people I'm not fond of, and relying on who I have been as a person to speak for itself. I've also never wanted to use my platform to boost or give attention to any negativity. I do, however, know and realize that some people will sadly take my silence to mean something else. The hashtag Speaking Out movement has given me hope that the industry that I've chosen to give my life to will become a better place. I wanted to stand in support of all those brave enough to share their painful stories. Unfortunately, I was afraid due to the lies that are being said about me." In the statement, Lethal vehemently denies the allegations. Again, if you want to see the full excerpt, click the link down below. Next up, Becky wanted to wrestle pregnant. Becky Lynch's emotional exit from Raw saw her announce that she was pregnant and vacating the Raw Women's Championship, a title that was now going to the previous night's Women's Money in the Bank match winner Asuka. However, in a recent appearance on the Bella Twins podcast, Lynch revealed that she toyed with the idea of dropping the title even when she knew that she was pregnant. It was like, oh frick, is there a way that she can just beat me real quick? Colby, Seth Rollins said, no, you're not. No. Becky then thought of other possibilities, including a tournament. So when we talked a lot and then decided like, what if there's a tournament for the #1 contendership so the people, they don't know they're actually going to be competing for the title. And then right as they go to have that last match, whoever gets there at the end, then I tell them, well, actually this is for the title. But the Money in the Bank was happening at the same time, so it was too confusing to merge the two, so they just decided that they would do the Money in the Bank ladder match and have that as the title match essentially, but without them knowing. We're certainly glad that Seth was able to convince Becky not to wrestle whilst pregnant, as the risks are certainly there, even in the early stages. But everything turned out fine with the transfer of the title from Lynch to Asuka, giving Lynch the opportunity to take some well-deserved time off. Next up is Kairi Sane staying in the WWE. Now, by most accounts, the answer was no, but now TalkSport's Alex McCarthy is reporting, "For what it's worth, I've been told it's not a lot Kairi Sane departs WWE. Those reports about Sane considering going home are true, but WWE will likely make her another offer yet, and a good one." Although it was widely reported that Kairi Sane was on her way out of WWE and heading back to Japan to be with her husband, her appearance on Raw as well as this rumor suggests there could be hope for fans who enjoy Sane's WWE work. Hopefully, if she accepts a new contract and doesn't go back to Japan, WWE will put the title on her someday. Next up, is WWE freezing contracts due to COVID. As many fans know, the WWE freezes contracts when a WWE wrestler is injured, which means whatever time they take off to recover is added to their existing contract. Now fans are wondering whether the WWE will freeze contracts if a wrestler chooses not to work in the WWE due to the ongoing health crisis. Dave Meltzer discussed this on the Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, "With Kevin Owens it's only been a couple of weeks, so I guess it's not, but with Sami Zayn it probably will be. If it's Roman Reigns, they may not want to piss him off, and he isn't going to go anywhere. He's one guy who is not going to go anywhere, but with some guys absolutely they will freeze them, their contracts." Next up, more surprise returns coming to WWE. Now, even though Heath Slater returned on Raw last night, he could be one of many returns. According to Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful has also heard of other names that were back at the WWE Performance Center for last week's taping. One is slated to return to WWE programming after missing the last couple of tapings. We wonder who that could actually be. Could it be Zack Ryder? Could it even be Rusev? And finally, Vince says that this wrestler was not worthy of a championship. Now, if we go all the way back to the Royal Rumble, apparently plans for the Women's Royal Rumble were much different. In fact, according to a report by Fightful.com, Shayna Baszler was originally slated to win the Royal Rumble this year, before just hours earlier, Charlotte Flair was chosen instead. But if plans went ahead and Baszler won the Royal Rumble, she would have gone on to WrestleMania 36 against Becky Lynch and won the championship. However, McMahon nixed this idea of Baszler going over at WrestleMania. Now, we all know how Vince feels of Shayna Baszler as he's gone right off her. It's obvious he didn't have faith in her in becoming a champion, which is quite ridiculous actually, as Shayna Baszler looks like a women's champion. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.